Всем привет! Мы продолжаем маленький наш или большой тур на заводе PRS, и мы сейчас находимся в PRS Private Stock Vault. 7 лет назад, когда мы были в этой комнате, она находилась в другом месте, то есть она была в этом здании, но сейчас она находится в этом же здании, ее переместили ближе в другое дело, в общем. А в том месте сейчас находится офис президента компании, CEO. So we will continue to show you the separate woods, everything you can see. It's just for private stock. It's right, Ryan?
Correct.
Okay, so that's maple. That's also for body. I mean mahogany body. The same, only here.
So you would have some select options for any sort of combination. So if you just wanted to do a private stock with mahogany back, maple top, we would have select cuts of mahogany that would, I think, have some unique figuring and appearance to it. Right now I'm standing in front of our neck blanks, which right now we've got a pretty wide variety set up in front of us, some international Brazilian. Here's some Zero Cody. These look like ebony or pale moon ebony down here. These would be some of our select mahogany necks here. So really dark sort of Cuban mahogany here, and you can get sort of some of the tones out of that wood there.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that's what a lot of people like to do. They like to come in here, they like to take a look at the appearance of the wood, they like to listen to the wood, they like to mix and match different pieces. That one sounds a little bit higher in pitch there. Just to figure out the best combination for any sort of private stock build. Different woods are going to provide different resonant qualities, and then from there you can make further decisions as for inlay materials, as for the color of the top, as for the finish type.
Yeah, that's
Basically
that's what you can do with just regular core models. You can do it only through private stock.
Yep.
And I believe some options for wood library.
Yep.
Thank you, team.
Welcome.
Private stock.
Sparkle resin that can be used for the center of the birds. We make that here. Sort of like the maple birds that you have on your guitar.
Yeah, it's maple, matching.
Same idea. Paul Miles and Private Stock create these materials, and then we cut them into the materials that can be inset into the guitar, just like your maple birds.
Yeah, each guy who can see those details said, wow, it's maple really inside?
Exactly.
Because I gathered many ideas at that time. Many ideas from, by the way, Brian's guitar. He's a nice guy. So
They do some
so many good designs, photos.
Ish Guitars does some really good combinations too, really interesting combinations of stuff.
Yeah. So I took some ideas, put some of my ideas inside, and made the guitar. And we did the same with wood library runs.
Right.
Unfortunately, we can't choose tops for future wood library. But Tim, do you know the new options? Are you still in sales here?
Yes.
I didn't receive the wood library new pricing. The guys.
We have it just now coming out. We just had a meeting on Thursday and Friday, and Jim said they were finalizing it. Lee is the one who's the sheet is being updated. We're changing a few things. We think it'll be better, and but yeah, we haven't been able to share it yet, so that's why you haven't received it.
Okay,
So
it will be
coming soon, before the end of this month, is what I was told.
It will be 15th anniversary of Lotkur Guitars next year, and we ordered for 10th anniversary, and we're going to
Very good.
make another run, and I'd want to make it with Black Limba. That's what I ask about. I'm not sure. Will you have this option or not?
We should have black limbo.
Wow, that's cool. I know you had Carina before, but
Yes, we will see for sure when the
Yeah.
list comes out, but we have the wood, so is it on the list? I'm not sure.
awesome.
It's definitely on the private stock list of
Yeah.
things that you can do.
Okay, so this is the record. Everything signed here.
Cody,
Yeah, so this
This
one's
is
actually already there.
Moonpale Ebony.
Yep, this one's Macassar ebony and this one's Pale Moon ebony.
This should be
Very heavy.
very heavy.
Very. So these are all going to be very heavy.
And you have
as
a,
well.
a Brazilian rosewood here.
That would be international Brazilian there. So a specific Brazilian that can be made for guitars that can go international.
So you have the Brazilian
This would
now,
be domestic Brazilian as well.
or reserved
We-
already?
no.
technically different types. Of
we're setting it aside right now because there is a paperwork problem
Uh-huh.
with it, with the CITES documents.
Okay,
So there was an issue. We had to put all of it on hold until we can get the paperwork straightened out. So that's why it's here. We have it, but we can't actually use it yet. This is an
okay. So
example.
when you have approving, then
use it
only
for private
customer can place order. Yeah, right? No.
Customers.
So if
can
I
order-
have a
Yes,
customer in
right.
Ukraine,
Yeah,
he just can't place an order right now with Brazilian
that's
neck.
correct, because we would say we don't know when we would be able to build it again. So we put everything on hold pending Fish and Wildlife telling us, okay, we realize it was a clerical error with this certificate, so go ahead and use it again. Start
Okay, and
building.
how we
So
can-
we're waiting.
How we can know when we can place?
We would definitely make an announcement. Right now with PRS Japan, we've had Japan switching some of their orders. They won't have anything to build. So they had some private stocks they were running, and we're switching those builds right now to regular, whatever other types of wood they want.
Oh, okay.
Mainly because of the certification.
Yeah.
We can't provide CITES documents right at this moment. So we aren't sure how long it's going to take to remedy the problem.
Do you remember the Joe Walsh signature
Yes.
model?
Yes.
I had two of them,
Yeah.
and we wait 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years after it was introduced,
Oh my.
because we're in Ukraine and we have to receive it in UK
Yeah,
because
the
of
UK
distributor.
couldn't get any.
Yeah,
Yeah. They
it was too long. You could even find the used one already that
Yeah.
time on the Reverb or eBay,
The reason
and we
for that was the UK has their own CITES rules, and their regulations said you can only bring wood into the EU, Brazilian wood, that came from Brazil. And the lot of wood that we actually got from Italy. It could have been from, I don't know, Ferrari, a car producer that
Right.
couldn't use the wood anymore. We bought it from them. So because the EU sees it as we're getting the wood from the EU, even though it's called Brazilian rosewood. So go figure. So we had to basically rebuild the EU guitars.
okay, got it.
Yeah. So that was the reason we had them ready to go, and found out that little problem.
Anyway,
Yeah.
they have been sold. Two of them have been sold, but
Nice.
anyway, yeah, I decided even to leave one for myself because I really like single cuts. But another customer who really want my guitar that time, he asked, please sell me. Okay, I said, I'm not in Ukraine right now. I know he will decide to sell maybe later because he's special guy. He want to take some new, then sell that stuff.
Right.
But so I just can buy from him once back to Ukraine. Yeah. So here is Peruvian mahogany, black limba next. That's all for next. It's maple.
Yep.
And what is here? Hormingo, Corina, Kingwood. What is Dom Brazilian?
That would be domestic Brazilian. So as opposed to the international Brazilian. Some bird's eye maple, probably not something you see too often.
You mean that's for U.S. market?
Correct.
Okay. And that one is international. Okay.
Crepe myrtle. Very interesting curly wood there.
Wow.
Be great for a neck. Super curly. Super
Yeah.
super tight, high pitched noise.
Crepe myrtle.
Yep.
It's like maple.
It is
Or-
similar to maple. I have
Looks
some
like
crepe, I
maple.
have some crepe myrtles growing in my backyard. You got any crepe myrtles in your yard, Tim?
No, we do not.
But they are
I never heard of
They're just like
even
a
that.
common tree, aren't
Yes.
they? Yeah.
Is it
They
light
don't get that
or
big.
not?
It's relatively light. I would say it's like maple, so can be a little heavy, but probably not as heavy as a rosewood or a
Bird's
zero Cody. Yep.
Maple bass. That's for bass
Yeah, for
guitars.
bass
Okay,
guitar,
because of
yeah.
larger.
Real long. Then a cocobolo, which would be another species of rosewood down there for the neck blank.
Mm-hmm.
I think there may even be some. These those are Ovancall. These are interesting looking. Stripy, kind of orange in color.
I want to call. Oh yeah.
Probably also got a super ringy noise.
You know the Warwick bass. They usually use.
Do they use Ovancall?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know they use. I've seen some with like Wenge necks and stuff like that. Some more exotic neck woods on those. So, cool stuff.
We've been on the factory there, and they even use the machines for frets.
Right.
It's crazy.
Mango wood.
Oh yeah, that looks pretty interesting. This might be a top, but using some mango wood. So this is, I think this comes from Hawaii,
Like
right?
fruit.
Yeah. Yep, just like the
Fruit
mango
wood?
tree.
Really?
Yep,
Once?
Yep, that's
it's
mango.
huge.
That's a
I
mango
never
tree. Yep.
Wow. Cool.
Oh, when are we gonna start making avocado tree guitars too? I don't know if an avocado is a hardwood, but I know a mango is. But yeah, these are just very similar to maple. If anything, just a little bit more dense. I think these are.
Какую груша на английском?
Always.
У нас мастера используют грушу.
These are always interesting. Burl top.
Yeah, nice.
Just looks like cheese or like the surface of the moon or something. That was pretty lightweight there. Another would be a
This one piece.
Vault top too. That's a one piece, a really good looking one piece curl top. Here's another one too. Crazy curl on it.
Yeah.
So kind of goes in all different directions. And then I think another.
Few times I even received one piece tops on the past. One piece on regular core model.
It happens sometimes.
I've got my custom 22 is a one piece top, from like 2001. Spalted wood.
Spalted maple.
So spalt wood is technically diseased wood. A lot of these trees were fallen in a forest and sitting there for 10 years before they got felled, and were processed into workable lumber. So it's almost like cheese wood, very lightweight. We do epoxy resin fills on a lot of those guitars.
So with a lot of these tops, when they're choosing them, they will actually lay, if it's like a maple top, and they will lay it out and they will actually wet the top down so you can see the figure.
Yeah, I do remember. We did it the same with Wood Library Run when you
Yes.
showed me with
Yeah, you spray
Spray.
it down, wipe it off a little bit, it gives you a better idea of what it might look like when
Finished.
stain is put
Right.
on it or something.
Nice. Quilted maple. So you have now quilted because you wrote me you don't have.
We don't. I think
It's one of quilt.
okay, that's
Maybe not
piece.
too much.
We don't have one piece.
And it might.
So you have
Very-
two
it may
pieces.
Also,
We've been getting them in slowly.
and also, some of it may already be allocated for specific.
That's correct. The other thing is when you choose a top, a maple top, for example, the color will determine if private stock feels it can be used for what you would like. If you
Right.
said, I want a a two-piece quilted top and it needs to be in the color Blue Mateo or a private stock version of that. That's a very bright blue color. If you choose a piece of wood that is more brown looking, then that blue stain is going to end up looking green. So when private stock is, they can see the build sheet and they say, oh, he wants this color.
Right.
What top is going to work best out of, and they'll go through and they'll let you choose from the
They would
brightest
pick, like,
tops.
a clean
or
white or
Now I understand. I never thought about that. So that one guitar, my guitar, it's blue slate glow color. Did you see it's greeny a
Yeah.
little bit? So that's a reason why it's greeny.
yeah,
But another one, when we ordered the same color, it was blue,
Right.
blue one. So name of color the same, but the wood
the
was darker.
probably brown.
Yeah,
more
it
brown,
was-
and it makes the
I
stain.
got that.
So every top is, as they say, a fingerprint. No two tops are really the same.
So if you want to make blue ones, you have to make a choice with lighter,
Whitest.
the lighter
And
wood.
so like this one's obviously a lot more yellow brown than that one would be. So when you spray it down, that one gets a lot darker real quick. Whereas that one retains a lot more of its lighter color. So it doesn't quite affect the stain color quite as
So
much.
brighter colors, yellows and things are going to come out
This
differently
one is
than on
awesome.
This.
Yup.
So that does go into the decision process. So when private stock recommends wood, they look at the sheet and they'll say, okay, this is the color, this is the woods they're looking for, and they'll say, okay, this top would probably work best of what we have for that build.
Okay. Wow.
And
Nice.
these could even be like from the same tree. It's kind of hard to predict that sort of thing until you're just looking at the one piece you're going to use, you know?
What about my one? It has lines like this. Did you see? Do you have a name of top?
It's just
Because some of them call like waterfall, burl, or just
Chevron.
in my certificate.
chevron, the shape of the figure, and it's all really random. It's just how the tree grew.
Yeah, I understand that. So I mean, maybe you have name on your factory. If customer wants, I want like this one. I can ship the. I can provide photos.
Photos definitely help. And
Okay, I get
had a customer, they wanted to rebuild a guitar they saw online, and the top was a unique piece of quilt. The quilted top was a one piece, and it had some very unique features. And then they also had a fingerboard, exotic ebony, that had this white sort of stripe directly down the center of the fretboard. And that's what the customer wanted. We went through over 200 fingerboards and could not find one
That
that
looked like that.
would satisfy the customer. The end user, not the store, the end user was dead set on a certain look, and we just couldn't do it. So
And
that's
what he decided?
he decided he was going to not order right now.
Okay.
Until, so I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's one thing when you say, we believe we can find something for you when it comes time for your guitar to be started, but we will send you pictures with what we have. So what that means is maybe we don't have exactly what fits, but over the next 3 months we get more wood in, and then they'll say, oh yes, this is the piece for this build. This will absolutely work. And we can take pictures if you're not here and show you, because sometimes we're just at the mercy of the wood supply. When do we have it to be able to build anything, for the particular item?
Yeah, I understand it. I had so many customers who asked, I want only Brazilian rosewood neck, that's it. I will wait. He waits now 5 years or maybe more because
Well,
you
we have-
hadn't.
Yeah, we did have,
But maybe, I don't know, maybe while we messaging, I have to message
It's
to
probably-
UK, then UK message to you, and that time when we want to order, you don't have it
that's
anymore.
probably because this is part of that batch that can't go to the EU. And if everything's shipping through the EU, maybe that's why. That's probably it. Because they probably told PRS England that you all can't order any Brazilian right now because we don't have any wood that
Okay.
we didn't get from Italy at the time. I mean, all of it's from Brazil, but for whatever reason, they go off of the receipts, the last place where you actually purchased it. If you're in
Yes.
Ukraine and I purchased it from you, then they don't see it as it came from Brazil, which is kind of interesting.
We can't just market them as Italian rosewood.
Italian rosewood.
Nobody wants
Italian,
rosewood.
Brazilian.
Right.
Okay, and you have here wood for body or not?
Yeah,
Or
but-
it's just for...
Most of that would actually be kept out here. So, and some of that might even be kept downstairs as well, because it takes up a bit more space, a bit more real estate than the bodies of the tops would. I know, like right behind you, there is going to be some of those 8-quarter mahogany backs, which would
Yeah.
actually be what we would use for like a hollow body 1 model. So it would use that thick mahogany back there. So that way we can do the full carve process for a hollow guitar. Some sapel down here as well. So it's going to be like a more figured sort of
Yeah, so like-
stripy mahogany kind of like wood.
Figured mahogany
Yeah,
or...
exactly.
Yeah.
That's real heavy too. I mean, you can feel how heavy that is. That's like dense wood right there. So
I'd say not too heavy.
you might want to hollow it out though if you're building a guitar. It's not too heavy, but I think that's a little weighty for me. Same thing with some of the necks though.
Canary wood.
Right.
That canary wood.
Or
top,
the bubinga.
yeah, this
both of
this
these.
top right here. Oh, very
Canary.
Hold that one. But also
Much heavier.
But also
heavier.
look at the way the wood figuring is on it. I mean, again, super figured, super
Yeah.
sort of unpredictable, and imagine what it would look like fully carved and fully finished. Some of these are super thick as well. Very, very unique color on that, sort of olive green almost.
Canary.
Yep.
Lighter.
Dense and heavy, a little bit lighter than the other stuff, right? But and not quite as heavy as say the ebony tops are on some of those
All
guitars.
the wood on that far rack over in the aisle, they all have numbers written on the end of them. Those are the private stock numbers, so all of that is pre-sold.
Okay, I got it.
For specific builds. So if you see this, all of these with these numbers written, that's the private stock.
Okay,
number.
have been chosen already.
All of it.
and
Yeah,
sold.
dealers. So they're up here, and when private stock is ready to build them, they'll come up and they'll get we call it a kit. It's a top and back, or whatever woods the customer has chosen. They'll take it down to the floor and start using it.
Sweetwater, take a lot of stuff of you.
They came in. They were here recently. I want to say last week. They were here.
Like
Yeah, they were
April.
just here.
You know, some of the amp guys or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. US is a nice market. We don't have such big market right now.
Understood.
Yeah.
It's too hard. We sold a lot of core models before war, but now usually guys just can buy regular SE
Right.
and maybe a few times per month or one like core model.
Right.
How do you do a lot of sales online? Do you have a lot of people that?
We have online and we have already a shop that we made
Right.
in the start of war.
Right.
We finished our showroom, it's studio too, and it's Dnipro is pretty close to occupied territory, like 100 miles only, and we have missiles in our city, a lot of missiles.
Right.
And not too many people wants to go to
Right.
Dnipro. Not too many people wants even to drive through the
Right.
country. To be clear, I will let you know why then.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and yes, it's mostly online for right now.
Well, with your studio, do you have people that run the studio with you, or are you just trying to do that yourself? Like, are you the engineer? Do you do? it all
I'm not
yourself?
engineer. Yeah, no. I'm like musician, and I had a dream to make cool studio with everything like it should be, with bus trips with everything. I've made everything of that details. But I'm not sound engineer. I'm just I can record some stuff. I can mix a little bit, but it's not good.
Okay.
I have guys
Not
who
good. Don't touch.
That would be available for like artists that want to rent out the studio.
excuse me.
That you make that available for artists.
Bands to
Yes,
come in and
yes, but we hope that war will end soon, and
Me
we
too.
can provide this place for musicians. We're trying,
Right.
but you know,
Right.
Dnipro is
It's not the top
even not
priority
too
for
many.
everybody.
Even not too many bands still playing in our city. Some clubs closed. Мы закончили вот в этой комнате замечательной. Самое время вам сейчас оформить заказ на Ладкор Guitars и написать, мы хотим private stock вот такой вот, как на той вот деревяшке, на такой, с таким топом или чем-нибудь еще. Ну или хотя бы Core Model, ну или хотя бы SE. Вот, а мы хотим поблагодарить Райана за такой замечательный тур. Он нашел время показать. I just want to thank you to show us the factory, all details, answered all questions I asked. So thank you,
Of
man.
course. Happy to
You
help.
have to share your band with me. I will
Yeah.
check.
Yep. Playing a cover band, but thanks for coming and hanging out. I'll be sharing some things with you, music-wise, and thanks for hanging out. I hope you all enjoyed something and enjoyed it and learned something today. So, thanks, guys.
Все, спасибо. Всем пока. Ставьте лайки и подписывайтесь на канал. Все, пока.